Hello, guys. Welcome back to another one. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host, Sam, and we are back again with another one. We just had an interesting and an amazing Saturday of football week. People, it's been a while since we have watched football, and it was really exciting. So we are here to do just a few bit things, just to talk about all the games which were played, as well as some of the controversial decisions, as well as the injuries, because we did have some injuries in this week or in this day, all the games which were played. So it's going to be an interesting one. So just to give you maybe a heads up on all the things that we're going to be talking about, I'm just going to put it out there so that you see what we're going to be dealing with. Here, when you look on the screen, you can see we are going to be talking about Aston Villa claim a hard end win against West Ham. Onana, and it looks like it's firing. Endura seals the points at London Stadium. Jota and Salah fires for Liverpool past Ipswich. Kai Havertz and Saka see off Wolves at the Emirates. Adinga hits Brighton's third against Everton. Jolinton fires a 10-man Newcastle to victory, as well as Semenyo whips up Woods opener at Forest, and also the United game which was played yesterday. So these are just a few things that we're going to be talking about. So I hope you guys are excited. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and also let me know where you're watching us from. Very important before we even go far, because this is going to be an interesting time. Click the like button, subscribe to the TFC, the best way you support us here, people. And I'm really curious to hear what were your thoughts over the Premier League as a whole. Which game did you enjoy? Which game did you feel like was really exciting? And what exactly are you expecting over this new coming season? And what did your team do in performance? And also, I'm going to look at my mistakes as well, and my prediction, and how wrong I was in predicting the first games which I played on this Saturday. Of course, remember, this continues to tomorrow, which is Sunday, as well as Monday, where Tottenham Hotspurs will be playing against Leicester. We still have some few games to play, to watch, people, and we will have an amazing week where we analyze the Premier League's return and everything that has happened. So I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. So firstly, which win was more impressive today between the Arsenal game and the Liverpool game? Because the reason why I'm asking the game, because I can be biased and say that it was Liverpool because I watched it, but I want to hear from you guys, especially looking at how the two games went on. Like, Arsenal fired first, but in the process of playing, they disappeared in the game. And I'm sure these are some of the things that you're going to see as they improve going forward with the season. As well as Liverpool's first half was right down dead. And until we saw the tactical tweaks that Arne Slot did in the game to help out Liverpool was really not even in the game. So these are other things that we can look at and actually analyze to understand how and the difference between the first game and what we saw from the second game. So I hope you guys are excited, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. How has game week 1 Saturday really impressed you, as well as Friday, because we are going to also touch on the United versus Fulham game which was played yesterday. Of course, I did my match reaction, and it's still there on the Connect. The one that I did not do the reaction in, which I'm going to do later, is the Aston Villa game. So as soon as I'm done with here, you will see the reaction over the game, because I did watch it all and it was amazing. This is the exciting part of the Premier League, because the people don't really tell you this. Or in the sides of the world we are in Africa, we have all options to watch all the games we can watch in terms of the European leagues. I decided to actually watch maybe some YouTube stuff rather than to watch the La Liga, because La Liga started, I think it was on Thursday or Wednesday, and I have not watched any game. If it's not Barcelona or Real Madrid, I don't watch La Liga. It's not saying I hate La Liga. I'm just saying that the other teams that are not yet at the level as, for example, Aston Villa versus West Ham, or maybe when I talk about those two, I'm talking about the bigger ones. Let's talk about the smaller ones. Brighton versus Everton. It gave a mouth-watering game. Nottingham Forest versus Southampton. Bournemouth versus Southampton. I think that was the game. All those games had something everyone is talking about. That's what makes the Premier League exciting. That's why it's always amazing to watch. And we are all excited. So I'm going to be looking at everything, the stats and everything that happened. You guys have to be my chaperone. If that even makes move with me, let me know your thoughts. So firstly, without wasting time, let's talk about the racing game, because I think it's really important, because I haven't really analyzed it. So the first game, which was between Aston Villa and Well, it was actually West Ham versus Aston Villa because it was at the London Stadium. And I think it was one of those games in which it could have gone either way. The reason why I'm saying it could have gone either way is because at some point West Ham were in control. But in terms of lethal and being dangerous, Aston Villa dominated that side of the game. And I just wonder, maybe Lopetegui got some stitch things wrong, that the only way they were able to score a goal was actually through a penalty. And I felt like the way they were playing, the way they were attacking, especially the way the likes of Kudus were trying in the game, they should have at least gotten to score a goal in the game, really, while the game was being played. So these are the small things that they need to work on to try and develop, because Aston Villa are a good team, to be honest. Whatever you're gonna say about them, they are a good team. So West Ham pushing them hand to hand the way they did, the way they challenged them, and the way the game went on, you can actually see that there is some changes that you can see from this West Ham team. It looks like they have direction, they have a mission that they want to achieve, and I can tell you they're gonna keep getting better. I know today we did not manage to see all the players that are there, and I feel like maybe just to continue watching them, we'll start understanding exactly what they want to achieve. So let's just remind you just of how the game was like. The game ended 2 goals to Aston Villa versus to one, which was a penalty, by the way, by Perqueta, in a game which I think was a bit interesting, because I feel, looking at everything that happened in this game, if they don't allow the first goal that went in from Onana in an easy corner kick, this could not have been the game it was really to the end, because they really struggled to get in the game. They really struggled to find ways to take advantage of the fact that they were playing with a team that they actually had the right players at the back to actually hurt them. And I just feel like, I wonder, what exactly would Lopetegui do, and what exactly is he going to learn from today's game to improve and help out this team to actually see the best of them? Because of course, even though it was a good game, you could still see that even Aston Villa, even though they won, they are still not, they are 100%. And I don't want to keep reminding people, they are coming from most of the players were international. Remember, even the guy who scored, Onana, was also playing for Belgium in Euro 2024, and so many things were happening. So they are not 100% to what we want to see them performing or what we expect of them, but yet they pull out one of the best performance, and they were able to help them. One player that I'm going to shout out, and I think is really important that people really remember his name, is somebody that people don't really talk about the most, is Leon Bailey. This guy, somehow, every single time, he always shows the world what he's capable of doing. And I know that sometimes you don't really give him the respect he does get, but you can see that he's lethal. You can see that he can hurt the teams, and you can see that he has all what it takes to actually become one of the best in the world. And today, one thing that was exciting about him is that he knew how to take advantage of that wing that he covers, and he was running, causing chaos. So looking at the way they were, like, Leon Bailey was really, really lethal on his side. McGinn, of course, in the middle was okay. Onana, for me, I think it was one of the best. I enjoyed watching him today. The way he was playing in this game, it was amazing. He knew everything that he had to do, and he was stopping. It feels like he has made a home out of the place that he's playing now in West Ham. And it's really amazing, the fact that he has not even so much time in this, and somehow is showing the world what he's capable of doing. And I'm sure that is going to improve, because he's only is it 23 or 22 years age of old. He has not even reached his prime yet, but you can see how little he is, Onana. And I do believe that he will be good, Amadou Onana, even more than what we saw today. The other player that we can talk about, McGinn, of course, Yuri Tielemans. I think in terms of the double pivot which Aston Villa were playing, Amadou and the Tielemans did their best in terms of controlling the game. One thing that was really important, which I felt like maybe at some point this game was missing, was control. But you could feel that whenever Aston Villa had the ball, whenever they had a chance to attack, they were taking advantages of those spaces, opening up spaces, moving with the ball at the fastest pace that so many players could not even copy with the speed that they were moving. And I just feel like if this continues, It's gonna be an amazing game. I'm telling you. You just have to keep watching, people, because whatever you're gonna say, you have to let me know your thoughts in the comments. And what do you really think of what you saw today from Aston Villa? Because I think everything that they had to do, they really put it on the pitch. The other player that impressed me today was also Pau Torres, the Spain international. He's showing that he has something special to offer. And somehow, if he continues going to this level, if he continues performing to the level he's showing us, he is going to be very, very dangerous. I don't even have to talk about Lucas Gay. You know him already. Even Ezri Konza, there was a chance, if I remember so well, in which I think it was in the last minute, in which West Ham were very close to score, and I think the player who was supposed to be scoring that chance was actually Soucek. And somehow the way Ezri Konza was able to control the ball, take out Soucek out of the game. Oh my God, that is lethal. That is amazing. And of course, we cannot finish any game without talking about Emiliano Martinez, because I felt like Emiliano was really good in terms of helping the performance that we saw today from his team, making sure that he keeps so many chances from West Ham, of course, because West Ham were putting so much pressure, but he was active. He was stopping this team from taking advantage of the spaces we were being opened and actually hurting the teams. And I felt like that was really important in helping his team to acquire what they did. And there's still a long way to go, but watch out for this Aston Villa team. The only time I feel like there's going to be a difference between Aston Villa and so many teams is when the Champions League starts, because I feel like after the Champions League is in, so many players are going to struggle to compete in terms of the competition of dealing with the Champions League and everything that is going to be happening. And Aston Villa, after a long period of time, okay, I get it, they've made some interesting signings, but they've let off also some of the big names. Look at that team. They didn't have one of the most important players that has always been there, which is Douglas Lewis, and nobody's really talking about it. And I felt that in some point this was one of the players who was missing in this team. And somehow, whatever we are going to say, we might say as much, we might really enjoy talking about whatever that happens, but it could have also caused the chaos in terms of how the game ended up. Like, it could have also showed some difference over how the game was approached. But these are some of the things that so many people might not even really analyze in terms of how this team is playing, even though some people are just enjoying the game. In terms of West Ham, Ariola, I felt like he made so many errors in which he should have taken advantage. He should have pounded and actually had some advantages. But he was good in the end, though. He showed up. He showed what he's capable of doing. And I think he gave one of the best he could have gave in terms of performance-wise. And I think that continues to get better. Mavropanos, I know Arsenal fans make fun of this guy, but this guy is really, really good. What he offers in the team, it's amazing. And today, what we saw, he showed some amazing defensive masterclass that if it wasn't because of him, at some point there could have been many goals which would have been scored by Aston Villa. He was very pivotal to help out the team, as well as Emerson. I think he played so well. Lucas Paqueta was not really in the game, and I think that's one player that I have to talk about because I did not see him in the game. When you needed a player, when you needed somebody to rise, he disappeared. Kudu, he was the only guy that I think I could say he was all over the midfielders, moving on all the positions, trying by all means to be lethal, trying by all means to get the best out of what was happening in the situation. If this was a different game, maybe he could have done even more, way much better, but I didn't see enough of him. And I'm believing that maybe because this is the first game of the week, they can develop and we can see the best out of this Aston Villa squad. But I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of Aston Villa? And of course, the game finished by 2-1. My prediction over this Aston Villa game, I'm going back to the archives, people. What did I predict? I said Aston Villa versus West Ham. I predicted 2-2. So I was wrong. To my defense, I expected West Ham to really give more. I expected the players like Gerard Bowen, in which that I did not even see in the game, to actually heat it up, people, to actually give us a performance, and I did not see that. So somehow, even though they did not perform, you cannot really put my head on the spike, because in terms of my prediction, in terms of what I expected, West Ham did not live up to expectation. And I feel like maybe they need to improve. Remember, they have the likes of Somerville. They also still have the likes of Wan-Bissaka, Aaron, who are still to get into this team. And also, I think the guy who they signed from Bayern Munich, oh, is it Borussia Dortmund, the number 9 striker? So there's still so much to get on this team, and I think they can improve. Hence why I was predicting a draw. And at some point, it felt like it was going to be a draw until his name is it Joren or Jorek, who came in, and I think he turned everything upside down. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, people. What did you enjoy of today's game, and what are you expecting to see from the Hammers as well as Aston Villa in terms of looking at the performance, in terms of looking at how the game actually went on? Like, what did you thought of the game, and as well as what can you say in terms of the stats? Let me just show you right now on the screen. In terms of the stats, what we saw from them, I think they gave us all that they could give. And in terms of, can you see? I'm not lying. Look at the performance. Oh, now I remember. I don't know if you are listening to the match, but I remember the commentator, the coach, the commentator in the game saying that in terms of all the games which has been played between Unai Emery and Lopetegui, the team that has the lowest in terms of percentage is always the team that loses. And I did not really think of that until now when I'm looking at how the game actually came to be. As I'm looking at what I'm looking at here, you can all see that in terms of the percentage, in terms of the game, this is why West Ham lost the game, because they got control of the game. They tried to play so well, but the team with the lesser percentage got the victory. And in this case, it was Aston Villa. So, of course, there's still a lot that they can improve on. Look at the touches. Look at the shots on target. 3-3. It means it was actually a wipeout. In terms of shots, they had 15 in Aston Villa, but they did not usually use most of them. And I think that was one thing that was lacking so much. 400 passes to 300 and something touches. You can all see that some of the things were not really good, but they'll get better. In terms of yellow cards, 1 to 2. Fouls conceded, 11 to this. It was a good game. I cannot complain and say that this was a terrible game and they should have done better, because when you really look at it in all, they gave their level best, and I understand. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section over the game. Let's move on to the next game, because I think this was also one of the best games of today. Arsenal playing against, guess what? The Wolverhampton Wanderers. So this was a game that so many Gunners has been waiting for, excited over, and really expecting to see a performance. I predicted that Arsenal were going to really run away with this game, win it with even more chances, but somehow my predictions are ever wrong. Anyway, we'll get into that. So the game, like I said, it finished by 2-0. Wolves could have done better, and that's really important. Nobody's going to take that away from them, because I felt like in terms of how the game was going, in terms of how everything was being approached, they should have really done so much better than what they gave. Looking at how the game went on, looking at how at some point they literally had control of the game, that Arsenal only were working on to defense, and they did not take chances of what they had in terms of the spaces that they had. I think they only have themselves to blame, because looking at all the things, let's go to the stats. I think that's the best way to analyze this game. Look at the stats, the difference between the percentage, 53 to 43% of the whole entire 90 game, because there was a point in the game when I actually saw that Wolves were dominating the position by about 75 to, was it 75 to 40? Is it 30 something? Or I don't know. Like, do the mathematics, you people. Out of 100, there were the chances. There were opportunities like those where they took advantage of the game. Wolves, and they were causing chaos to Arsenal. Arsenal could not get the better of themselves. They just could not take advantage of what they had. And at some point, I could see Arteta shouting at Declan Rice because he could see that he was also at some point letting the team down in terms of defensively. He was later going forward, but also letting the team down defensively. Thomas Partey, of course, you can see that this is a guy who's coming from a long-term injury and he's still trying to get his feet together. And I think that's really, really important over what we see. In terms of shots, of course, it was more from Arsenal. Shots were 18, 6 to 3 and 9 from Wolves. That's what I'm saying. The problem with Wolves is that as much as they were breaking the strike force line, as much as they were breaking the midfield line, as much as they were breaking all the lines, they just could not break the defensive line. And at some point when they actually managed to do so, when they have a chance to actually get the goals, they were not actually getting those chances. So these were the things that I felt like were missing in the team. And I think they just have to work on that to try and become better at that, because they are a good team, Wolves. And also, they're not going to be playing an Arsenal every week, a team that is really super. I believe Arsenal at the moment are the best team with the best defense in the Premier League. So you when you think about that, it actually makes sense to you that, okay, if it is that way, then maybe they deserve to continue dominating the game. And that's what I saw in the game. And I expected more from Wolves, but I cannot keep talking about it because at the end of the day, the team that won was Arsenal. And we are now going to talk about the players that played a part in the victory. The players like the Saka, the player like Kai Havertz showing up every single time, and the likes of Martin Odegaard in terms of how they were playing the games, doing the good passes, the movements, and helping the team to progress well going forward. That shows you how much good of a team this Arsenal squad can be. That tells you how much they can actually develop to become one of the best. It's a matter of time. How are they going to work on their small flops? How will they get better? How do they develop? Because I think it's really important for them to actually do so, because today they played so well. Zinchenko's side, which was the left side, felt like it was the weak link, but also on top of that, they still have a Califury to come in from the bench. They still have a Timber who came in today, and you saw him being lethal, showing what he's capable of doing. So there are those options that they can still take advantage of. And I'm telling you, I'm really, really telling you, this Arsenal team are going to develop so well into the season. And I'm hoping that there are less injuries from this to help them actually try to achieve what they can do. Because I think when they're competing with the Man City, 100% is what is needed. 100% lethality and everything that do. It's what Arsenal have to do. Because, of course, in terms of the chances that they created, and this is really important, in terms of the chance that they created, out of 6 chances, they had 2 goals, which means that 4 other chances, there were passes to the goalkeeper. I'm not really saying that maybe there was some amazing saves from the goalkeeper, but out of 18 shots, 6 were only on target. Those are the things that they might need to work on to improve, to get the better of them. And I love the confidence that Arsenal shows sometimes at some point during the matches, that they'll be moving with the game and they are really sure that they will get the game at the end of the day. They have a new approach, not panicking, moving with the ball, passing well, because they now believe in themselves. Do you know when you have come to a point where you believe in yourself, you say that, okay, no matter what, I got this under control. You are literally coming to people and you'll be like, wait a minute, I got it. Take it easy. That's one thing that I saw from Arsenal, because they are oozing with confidence. They are showing like a team that can cause chaos in terms of how they're going to approach the game and how this season is going to be to them. They know that they have the right players on different positions in which they are going to work for the good mentor of the team. And I think that was it. We saw whenever the Gabriel needed to be a bit harsh, he was that player. When he needed to play so well in terms of helping out in defense, he was. Saliba playing as a sweeper, doing it so easily, no problem. I think he only had 1 misplaced passes, and I think that was it. Raya, he has so much confidence. He believes in the boys in front of him that he does not even panic. I actually feel like he doesn't even expect so many attacks. He does not even expect it to be exposed so many times because he believes and he trusts on the team and the players that he's playing for. And I think that's one thing that makes this Arsenal team even exciting to watch. So I don't know. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. How far can this Arsenal team go? I did a reaction over it. Just that was just my instant reaction over the game. But you can tell that there's still so much that this Arsenal team can actually achieve where they can go. This was also their lineup. Looking at it, this is a back three in which when you look at over the season, I think Zinchenko is the one who changes. Thomas Partey being back is really important. It allows Odegaard and Saka to do the rest of the things upside. Martinelli, you could see the runs were there, everything he needed to do was there, but one thing that is still working on is to get back to 100% match fitness. And also in terms of Wolves, I think they were also a good team. They showed the goalkeeper, Matt Doherty, and I think Ryan Antiuri was really good. And I felt like at some point he only had two chances or two problems which let his team down was allowing Saka to have a chance to cross that ball back into the team in which Odegaard scored, in which Kai Havertz scored, as well as allowing Saka to have the freedom to turn and go inside the box because we know what Saka is capable of doing. But all in all, this was a good game, and that just tells us exactly what we can expect from this Arsenal. The lethality, what they're offering and how they're performing, it's really, really important over how they're going to approach this new season and how they'll take advantage over the games. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What impressed you the most about the way Arsenal approached this game? Because, of course, there'll be a lot of things that people might say, but what impressed you the most? Because, like I said, they are the best team in terms of controlling and moving with the ball. What impressed you the most? Because next after this, we are talking Liverpool, a club that I love the most and a club that is always full of surprises. I watched one of the worst first half in terms of the Premier League. Look at this. Look at this, people. Look at this. You might think that I'm making this up. Look at this. Don't look at the stats yet because, of course, the stats will tell you what you want to hear and whatever that happens. I really thought that they'll give me some things here to see in terms of how the game was going, but I would have really loved to see what was happening. But in terms of the game, first half, there was a problem. There was a problem because Liverpool were not in the game at all. They were not in the game. Of course, they have this tendency of doing this. Remember now Liverpool are playing this 4-2-3 formation. So in terms of their 4-2-3 formation, of course, 4-2-3-1 formation, of course, Virgil van Dijk and Konza will be very close to each other. Robertson and Trent on the other side, usually maybe where my mouse is here or here, to make that midfield line about 4 when they're building up, which allows good passes because Van Dijk moves a bit here and Konza moves a bit here and Alisson comes here to help out in terms of the attack. So what happens is that 3 against 4, it means it's easy for Van Dijk to pass to Robertson or to pass to McAllister, or as well as Alisson to pass to McAllister or pass to Virgil van Dijk or to pass to Konza or Gravenberch or Trent Alexander or Robertson in terms of where the spaces are. And that's one thing that we've been doing so well in terms of building up the games as we try to approach the game. But the problem, we were dealing with a team which was marking the team one-on-one. And the problem with a team that marks you one-on-one, you don't always have to rely in terms of the short balls, the short passes, the short movements. And that's what exactly the manager was saying, Arne Slot. He said that the mistake that he made was to not tell the team to stop making so many small passes because these teams are marking you very, very close to each other, and it will make it more difficult for you to have advantage. And also the other problem, because remember, this team were playing in a formation of 4-2-4 in defensive, which means that their defense that strike force was able to match 100% with the defense of Liverpool, while in the midfield those two were playing against the McAllister and Gravenberch. It means that it was all in terms of the formation. It was enough to stop Liverpool from doing anything. So what did the manager do to stop that? Remember, like I told you, he said they should not do only the easy, small, short passes, but also he had another interesting tactical twitch that he did, which helped the Liverpool so well in the second half. Which means that you see Virgil van Dijk here, he moved in Robertson's position, as well as Konza, in which that moment was now Konate, moved at the Trent Alexander-Arnold position. The purpose of this, and allowed Alisson to be alone with so much space here. Only McAllister and Gravenberch were the ones who were up top. The purpose of this was to make sure that the four that Ipswich were putting in front of Liverpool, if they stretch in terms of following these two, what happens with the other two who are going to be trying to keep Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson at bay? It allows these guys to move very, very close in terms of attacking. And doing that, there were so many spaces whenever the ball is being passed to Robertson from Trent Alexander-Arnold's position. All of them, they're trying to stop Trent, and it opens up so much space on Robertson. And we started seeing flotation and the movement of the ball easier. What was the purpose of the manager putting Konate, you may ask? Well, I'm going to try to explain it. The purpose he put Konate is because Liverpool were losing so many Jews. In terms of going forward, the strike force were not winning enough, as well as in terms of defending, the team was not winning enough Jews. And I think in terms of that tactical twitch, putting a player with stamina and who can be able to cover so much space, what made Trent Alexander-Arnold's position easier last season in terms of defending was because he had a Konate who could cover so much space for him whenever he goes and wander about wherever he goes. And at this point, we could see this also being used and integrated in terms of how the team actually approached the game. And I think that's what helped the Liverpool to actually have one of the best performances in the second half that they did. They started to do the 1-2 passes, the through balls, in which they were eliminating and breaking passes from of this team, which we call Ipswich Town. Trent Alexander-Arnold was terrible at this because of because of how good he is in terms of those long balls, in terms of those long, powerful through balls, which he allowed it. Especially if you look at the first goal, the way he was able to pass the ball to Salah, opening up the space, it was really important because it allowed Salah to just move on with the ball, pass it easier to Diaz, to Jota, and it was the first goal for Liverpool. So he did the same thing as well, and Virgil van Dijk with the long ball to Salah, and I think Salah gave it back to Dominic Szoboszlai. The purpose of this, people have to understand this. Let me put this also on the screen so that maybe I try to draw it up so that people may have an idea of how this helps the team whenever we are in attack. So let's say this is Liverpool. Look at this. Whenever we are on an attack, because remember, Virgil van Dijk hit the ball from this position and it traveled well to this side. I wish this thing would allow me to draw here. From here to travel, it went this side to where Salah was. And one thing that you notice, Salah was facing his own gate when he received the ball. So the purpose of when he faced his own gate to receive the ball, remember I told you Trent Alexander-Arnold moved it to the position where Salah is, and Dominic Szoboszlai was coming more onto the left, in which we saw McAllister, Jota at some point, as well as Luis Diaz moving on this. Of course, I'm not going to go too much in depth because I'm going to do this on the analysis show that I'm going to be doing on Tuesday for LFC, for the Football Connect LFC, where I analyze all the games for Liverpool. There's actually a draft and everything that I'll be doing in terms of explaining how the game was going. But in terms of the movement, so it allowed Salah to give Szoboszlai, in a way he was able to move, and he had a 1-2 pass with Jota, and it opened an amazing space in which he was able to pass to Mohamed Salah, and that's where the second goal came from. And it was just 5 minutes apart. And I'm telling you, they could have scored so many goals, Liverpool, if they wanted to, because they had the advantage to do so. They had the personnel to actually do so. But that's what we love about football. That's where the excitement of football is. So, as much as Liverpool are not really good in the first half, you can all look at it and say that the level that they were able to develop and actually become so good in the second half, it made, or it in a way wrought their wrongs quickly and made them look like they were clean and everything. So I think that's something that people were not really paying attention, that in which I did, and I was able to see that, oh, that's why they played like this. And it's all because of the tactic, the way this Liverpool are now becoming so docile into adjusting into any type of formation, in terms of any types of everything that they need to get the job done. Because at the end of the day, you need problem solvers on the pitch. And one thing that Arne Slot offers you in the pitch is a problem solving solution. Sometimes they might not have the personnel who actually achieve that in terms of solving the problem. But if he does have those players, he will make use of them. And that's one thing that we saw very, very good from this Liverpool squad, as well as what manager did. That's why maybe on the rating show of Liverpool, which I'm going to be putting on the LFC TV, in which is actually appearing when you read what's written same day, it's going to be amazing, because I trust in the way that this Liverpool team is building up. I trust in the way that Arne Slot is doing, and what he's actually building with this Liverpool squad. As you can see, I have so much to analyze over Liverpool because it's my team, people. So let me move on before I even go far. But one thing I want to hear from you: are you enjoying this? Click the like button, subscribe to the Connect. That's always important. And also, the Liverpool fans who are going to be enjoying this segment, do me a favor: go check out the Football Connect LFC. It is there. It's appearing. If you just write that small, that at LFC, at TFC LFC, it all take you straight forward to Liverpool channel, in which that I own. Yes, like you can see here. If you just write this, it will take you to the Liverpool channel that it only covers nothing but Liverpool content. So thank you very much. That will be very, very amazing and unique for you people, for me, people, if you are able to support me in this way, because I don't want to lie to you, it takes so much time to do so, and I'm hoping that you've really helped me to grow, because growing this content allows me to even invite guests like you and so many people to come and join us as we do this analysis. But at this moment, as we're growing up, we take it slowly and surely, but I'm sure that with your help and you guys coming on, it's going to be easy to help out this community to grow. But thank you very much. Let's continue with the analysis show. We still have so many games to talk about. Let's communicate or continue with the reaction show. And now we're going to be covering some of the games that I do not actually watch, in terms of the Everton game, the Newcastle game, as well as the Nottingham Forest game, in which finished by 1-1, by the way. It was a good game. Let's talk about the Brentford game, because the Brighton game versus Everton, because as we speak right now, on top of the league, Brighton are on top, and there is a reason why they're on top, and we're going to talk about it here. So the game finished Everton 0, Brighton 3. The reason why it was this is because at some point Everton got a red card, but if you look at when the red card came from, the Ashley Young red card, Brighton were already leading by 2 goals to nil. So when you think about it, it shouldn't have had an impact over the outcome of the game. But sometimes some people will look for those red cards to try by all means to blame it onto someone, rather than facing consequences of how the game went on. Like, first goal was scored in 25 minutes by Matoma. A good goal, by the way. It was an amazing pass from this kid that, what do they call his name? I'm trying to remember him. I'll show you. Let's go to the lineup. It was a good pass from is it Yankamba Mata or Yakoba Mata? It was a good pass that he did. It was a straight pass coming well to Matoma, and Matoma was able to bury it. And I'm believing we're going to be seeing more of these guys, because they are lethal. Him coming from that right side, I smell nothing but fire. I'm telling you, I just smell fire everywhere I go. But that's what made the game even more exciting. And I think we saw so much from this Everton team. They showed so much. I know that there were some controversial moments where Sean Dyche was complaining about it should have been a red card and a penalty or stuff, which was overturned by VAR and stuff like that, in which I'm going to do so much in few minutes when we talk about all the chances which the VAR made and if they were good or not. Expect that it's coming very, very soon. But in terms of the game as we speak, I think we can all agree that this team that we call Brighton might actually be very, very later than we expected because they are showing some amazing touches, some amazing movements that people are going to be talking so much about. And imagine that double pivot that I'm talking about, in which Matt Viver got used to, is the same thing that is playing coming here into this team, which we call Brighton, playing that double pivot alongside James Milner. You may wonder why James Milner. James Milner is one of the most strongest guys in terms of holding position, winning the ball, and allowing movement. And Matt Viper, if there was nothing that we saw from Arne Slot's analysis when he was still playing for Feyenoord, was the movement of his passes, allowing his team to the balls to bounce back through him, and what made him one of the best in the world. So in a way, wherever we look at it, Brighton have literally created what the Dzebet created with Moises Caicedo as well as McAllister. But now it's because with James Milner and Matt Vipe, I'm just excited over to see how this guy comes in and he take over the world by storm in the Premier League, because it's going to look so amazing. I'm telling you about that before I even waste the time. I'm telling you, it's going to be really, really good how the game is going to go on like and how they'll do. But one thing I can tell you about Brighton, don't write them down. I know I talked about West Ham being the surprise package, but I also want to put Brighton in the same box because they are ticking so many boxes that so many people are not even looking at. And I think we're going to see the best of them as the season continues, as we start to see what they're capable of doing, because they just look so lethal, people. They just look so amazing. And that's one thing that I think will be very, very important in terms of how they approach their games. But anyway, let's move on from that because, of course, Brighton played so well. They had in terms of stats-wise, they were dominated 62 to 35, 5 shots on target, 10 shots as a whole combination, 700 and something touches, and they just controlled the game. Who was the man of the match? Warbeck. He scored a goal as well. So it's really important to see what these guys are doing. And Matoma scoring a goal after such a long time, it's really, really important. Ashley Young falling into the trap of the likes of Matoma. You'll never do that again, man, because now you made the team to miss so many players. But anyway, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think of their performance? What can you look at and say, okay, this was amazing? Who was your best player? And what can you expect going forward from this team? Because I think it's only up to them. However this season goes on, like however they approach this season, it's only up to them. They have all what it takes to become a good team and to actually take advantage of the opportunities that they create. So they have to find the right ways and how they get it. But Brighton, watch them. Brighton people, watch them. This season, they will be lethal. I'm sure about that one. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What else impressed you the most about this Brighton team as we move on to the next games which were played? And I think these were other games which were being played. We had the Newcastle game which finished 1-0 to Newcastle. Newcastle got a red card earlier in the game. A small incident which costed and allowed the captain to have a problem. But Southampton, if they were a better team from this, they should have gotten something out of this Newcastle game. But they just did not do so much. And I think at the end of the day, that's what led into this. But what can we say about this Newcastle team, which we have not said? So many people want to write them out. I feel like they will rise. I feel like they have something to prove. I feel like they will be back at their level best. And today, I think they showed it. Playing in a 10-man, playing the way they did, knowing when to attack, when to take advantage, and when to hurt the teams. And also, by the way, without wasting time, that goal which was scored by Newcastle, that was a robbery of that was an embarrassment of a goal in terms of when you look it in the eyes of Southampton. Why would a goalkeeper do such a crazy pass, giving the striker the ball and allowing them to do the good passes in the 18 area and taking advantage? Because I felt like that costed Southampton. They could not come back again after Newcastle scored that goal. And Newcastle, what they just do was to make sure that they make their 10 men in the squad look so dangerous, impossible to break down. And that's what helped them. So, whatever you say, however you're going to look at it, this was what was done. And I think it helped this Newcastle squad to have advantage over the game. Isaka won the man of the match, but in terms of performance, look at that. Newcastle was not even playing the game. They were only defending because they were missing the players that they need. And as well, in terms of shots on target, 5 from them, they yet were having so many chances which they were trying to score. So you'll be surprised that how can a Southampton which had all this control, which had everything moving so well, do not at least try to get something in the game? Well, that's a story that somebody can come from somewhere and actually answer, because I don't think I have the right answer for this, because it doesn't make sense. In my own eyes, it doesn't make sense. And I think that's the small things that they need to improve upon if they want to have the best performance, or in terms of the way they will attack over the season. Of course, we still had some games which were played, and I think this was really important. The Bournemouth game against Nottingham Forest, in a game which finished 1-1, and the last minute goal which was scored by Bournemouth, I think it helped, because they could have lost this game. Looking at how the game was going, Bournemouth could have lost the game, and I think they scored at the right time to come back and take this Nottingham Forest out. And because they're still missing the striker, Dominic Solanke is now a Spurs player. If they could get a little striker there, they could be a good team. I'm telling you, you would enjoy them. But yet at the moment, they still don't have a striker. But I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think of that performance? And who impressed you the most in terms of how the game went on, and how it was very, very lethal? I want to know in the comment section. The other one, of course, was yesterday's game. We did a preview over, which is the United game against Fulham, in a game which finished, I think United won this game, and I think it was so easy in the end because they knew what they were supposed to do. They scored in the right time. Joshua Zirkzee coming in and taking advantage and becoming the main man, taking out the limelight from so many players who are well known to take advantage of this last minutes for United. And I think he deserved it, and I do believe he will get better from what we saw today. And I cannot wait to see how the situation grows and how he becomes a better player. One thing I can talk about, the butcher, Lisandro Martinez, his mouth is going to get him in trouble. He said something, and Antonio is going to, what's his name? Adama Traore will come with a vengeance to prove something to what Antonio said. To what Lisandro Martinez said. It was not necessary at all. It was not necessary. But anyway, we'll see how the game goes on. I'm looking for something, people. That's why you see me maybe be quiet, because I'm trying to get the information from the VAR room. Remember, the Premier League introduced what they call the VAR room, in which it allows them to do analysis over the VAR calls and everything that happens in the game. So I'm going to just go a bit to there and just show you some of the decisions which were made, and if you were in agreement with them, or maybe you wanted to just shout about it and say something. I know. Sometimes the situation gets the better of us. So I'm going to be putting that there. It's called the Match Center. Very, very important. A hub in which VAR queries and everything that is not going in the right direction over the decisions of the VAR, they will all be addressed here. So I'm going to just look at just some few decisions which were done today by the VAR, in which If they were controversial, you let me know in the comment section so that we can see what happens and how can we try to give advice over the referees and how they get better. So firstly, the West Ham versus Aston Villa, the penalty which was awarded by the referee, Cash and Suchek, the VAR checked and confirmed the referee's score. The reason why the goal was given, I felt like looking at the challenge, it should have been a penalty. And I think the referee giving that, it just gives you direction over what the VAR and what the Premier League wants to achieve. So I cannot complain about this. I think it was a good call. West Ham versus Aston Villa. VAR check on a potential penalty challenge by Kudus on McGinn. The confirmation of the referee of no penalty deemed as the minimum contact was also what was actually agreed upon because it was really important. Everton versus is it Brighton? Uri's goal was initially given as on field, but the VAR confirmed that he was offside and the goal was disallowed. That's very important. I did not watch the game, but you can all see that maybe there was some offside over here. Because to those people who might not see on the screen, is this guy here. Somehow is a bit ahead of the defender, the last defender here, which means that even if it was a goal for Brighton, it had to be disallowed because the player was offside. The referee issued a red card to Young for denial of a goal scoring opportunity with the foul of Onmatoma. VAR checked and confirmed that the referee scored that it was correct, as well as VAR over 10. The referee awarded a penalty to Everton for the foul on Dunk by Dunk on Douglas on Calvin Lewis. The VAR recommended an on-field review as he deemed Calvin Lewis' foot landed on Dunk's foot and there was no foul. The referee overturned the original decision and restarted on a drop ball. The reason why I targeted this one is because that's the one Sean Dyche came out live on public and started to say as whatever he wanted to say because he did not agree with the decisions in which the referee gave. And I get it. Sometimes when you're in the game, you have so many emotions. You want to get everything. But sometimes when the referees make some decision, there is a reason why they do that. Whenever they say that you are not being deemed off to get this opportunity, it's not because that they just want to take away opportunity from you, but they're looking at the fact that the way the foul was being conducted, it's not supposed to be a penalty. I need to go look at the foul as well to maybe give a proper analysis over the game. But that's what the VAR were here to say. Tell me if you agree with them in the comment section or not, because I think it's really important to understand that if they create this in a way, it allows us to know what they're doing and how they're being, fruitful. But anyway, let's see what your thoughts were. Over the Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth, VAR over 10. There was a goal which was given a flag, but the VAR confirmed that Cook was offside in the ball build-up and the goal was disallowed. So there was a goal which was given and the VAR had to turn it over because the player who scored was also coming from an offside position. So it makes sense, as you can see on the picture there. The referee issued a red card to Shaw for violating the conduct. VAR checked and confirmed the referee's call. And the one thing that I want to talk about this decision and this incident, you cannot fall to the instincts of how the defenders are doing this. Of course, football is an emotional game. Whenever you're on the pitch, you are really so much active. But what Fabian Schär did was stupid. Of course, the player of Southampton had already got the best of him. Don't give him another excuse to take advantage of you. And I felt like that's what Fabian Schär did. He gave him another excuse to take advantage of him. And I think that's what led into this red card he got. And in a way, if Southampton were really good, they could have taken advantage, but they didn't. And I think that's what helped this team to continue. Okay, Vieira checked and confirmed the ref score, of course. Everton, Vieira checked and confirmed the referee score of no goal as Harrison was in an offside position. This is the situation. Look where Harrison is standing almost like in front of a goalkeeper, and the Vieira saw that the goal was not supposed to stand. So, yeah. Interesting. That Liverpool incident that we were talking about, there was a moment where I think, if we're being honest, Ipswich could have gotten a penalty if that offside decision was not given. The reason why I think that it's because the way Virgil van Dijk dropped that kid, for me, I do feel like it was supposed to be a red card. It was supposed to be a penalty, not actually a red card. So VAR confirmed that the on-field call of the offside and they dived before the potential penalty check for the challenge by Virgil van Dijk on the Delap, or is it Delap, or is it Diop? I don't know, but that's what I think, and it actually being confirmed. It could have been a penalty if that was allowed to continue. But anyway, people, those are some of the situations which happened in the Premier League today, and I was just giving you some hint on some of the things you are missing out. Of course, our thoughts and prayer are onto the player of Nottingham Forest who got that crazy injury, and I'm hoping that he recovers and is ready for the new season. I have a feeling, according to what we are being told, he might go out for 6 years, 6 months, not 6 years, 6 months. So I hope he gets back into the game. So, Fulham versus Manchester United. The game finished 1-0 to Manchester United. I predicted 2-1 to Manchester United. So 1-0 difference. Of course, that's not the correct prediction. Chelsea versus City, it's not yet been played. Ipswich versus Liverpool, I predicted 2-1. The game actually finished 2-0. Arsenal versus Wolves, I predicted 3-0, but the game finished 2-0. Brighton versus Everton, I predicted 2-2, but the game finished 3-1, or is it 3-1 or 3? Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I think it was 3-0, of course. I predicted 3-1 in terms of the. So in terms of the Arsenal game, I predicted 3-0, in which they did not score enough goals to make it 3-0, but they finished at 2-0. Everton versus Brighton, it finished 2-2. I predicted 2-1. Newcastle versus Southampton, in an interesting game, it was Southampton. Newcastle won by 3-2, but I actually predicted this game was going to be maybe close to, let me put this on the screen. This game was going to be at least very, oh, sorry for that. It removed this, but I removed it. So anyway, let's just continue. That's one thing you can bet on. Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. I thought Bournemouth were gonna win, but they finished in the draw. The other games are going. 3 games that are left is Leicester versus Spurs, Crystal Palace versus Brentford tomorrow, as well as the big one, Manchester United, Man City versus Arsenal. Or it's actually versus Chelsea, not actually Arsenal. So it's actually Chelsea at home playing against Man City. Look at my eyes, people. I've been here for some time, and thank you very much for watching. There's still so much to go in terms of the new season and what the Premier League holds. But I hope you guys had an amazing time, and I think you enjoyed today's games and how they were approached. What happens next? That's the question that I ask. Tomorrow we get to watch those 2 final games of Saturday before we watch the last game in the season. So all you want to say, let us know in the comment section and what you enjoyed and what you're expecting. We are here for it. This is the Football Connect. Take advantage of the comment section, people. Talk to us. Go subscribe to the Football Connect. Also, go subscribe to the Football Connect LFC or TF. Just take the link that is there just below my name. As you can see, go support TFC here, people. It's really important. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on another one. We are about to go. So, peace. Subscribe to the Connect.
Beats the goalkeeper. You're just lost for words. He is just